Look at the meeting.
Anyone who wants to take part in the public comment, please sign in.
I'm cold. I'm freezing.
Say it again, I guess.
No, you don't have to say that.
Do I have to sign it again? No.
All right, I'd like to call this meeting to order. We'll begin with a salute to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd ask you to please call the roll.
Supervisor Hawthorne?
Here.
Councilor Edwards?
Here.
Councilor Greco?
Here.
Councilor Haggerty?
Here.
Councilor Abbott?
Here.
Highway Superintendent Moyer? Here. Deputy Supervisor Okazowski?
He's not here. Get the sign-in sheet, but Rose, I think you were up there signing in.
I guess I'm the only one who has something to say. Being here tonight, seeing 1, 2, 3 of you, this is your last meeting. I've served with all 3 of you very well, and my biggest disappointment serving with you people, and by you leaving tonight would have been the greatest thing you ever could have done for the town of Granby, was when I had 10 acres of land offered to Granby for a youth program for Granby. Free 10 acres of land for the youth program. You voted no, you voted no, you voted no. But if you had passed this, tonight you could have gone out with doing something for the town of Granby, for the children of this town. That was the day I decided not to run again, because that was a downfall for me. I approached this man from Venetia's Northern Ready Mix to donate 10 acres of land for the children of this town. The children of this town do not have playgrounds. Nothing, just a youth program. You people are going out of office now, and this could have been, when you have a retirement benefit, show me what you've done. This would have been an ace for the kids of this town. And I am very disappointed in you, Vince, you, Nancy, and you, Haggerty, for turning this down, because this could have been great for our kids. Thank you.
Okay. Let's have a motion to dispense with the minutes.
I'll make the motion. I'll second it. I'll put in the dates 11/9,
Yeah.
11/9, 11/16, and 11/30.
Okay, thank you. You all had a chance to read them? We also had a public hearing last night. We'll approve that at the, she's already got the minutes done, but we'll do that then. You know, you can do that at the next meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. We have a notice of public hearing from the town of Lysander. Public hearing will be held before the Lysander Town Board at 7:30 on December 22nd at the Lysander Town Building at 6 Lock Street, Baldwinsville, for the purpose of hearing all persons for or against a proposed local law amending the use regulations in an office service area in the Radisson PUD to allow a multifamily residential use on an approximate 3.215 acre parcel of land at 8282 Willett Parkway on the east side of Willett Parkway, approximately 575 feet south of Deep Glade Drive. That's from the Lysander Town Clerk. That is a statutory requirement for a situation like that they notify surrounding property, surrounding towns. Oh, I also have a letter from the Office of Real Property Services. Dear Ms. Hawthorne, Section 1573 of the Real Property Tax Law authorizes payment of state monetary assistance to municipalities which maintain systems of improved real property tax administration that meet standards established by the State Board of Real Property Services. I am pleased to inform you that the town of Granby has met those standards and is eligible for a triennial aid payment based on its 2005 final assessment roll. Since your municipality completed a reassessment on the 2005 assessment roll, you are eligible for triennial aid in the amount of $5 per parcel. A state aid voucher in the amount of $15,345 has been forwarded to the Office of the State Comptroller for payment. The aid payment was computed based on a parcel count of 3,069, which was extracted from your 2005 15C file. Congratulations to your assessor for maintaining a system of real property tax administration which meets the highest standards set by the state. Efforts such as theirs are essential to guarantee equity and fairness to the taxpayers of your municipality. This assistance will help your assessor to continue to maintain the quality effort evidenced on the 2005 final assessment roll. Should you have any questions, please contact your regional state aid representative. That's from Robert Gorelski. Okay, we have advertised for fuel bids. Would you like to take care of those right now?
Yes. Yes, we have fuel bids from Babcock Oil and from Glider Oil Company. I'll start with Babcock Oil, approximately 18,000 gallons of low sulfur on-road winterized diesel fuel, and supply the electric pump to be installed and maintained by the bidder, and his markup price on that is .0775. And that price includes .00292 per gallon tax. I'm not sure what tax that is, but it says. And then on 5,000 gallons of number 2 fuel oil, it's a .0775 per gallon markup, and that includes a .00592 gallon taxes. And then approximately 4,000 gallons of unleaded gasoline, the per gallon markup is 10 cents. Includes a .00342 gallon taxes. Okay, from Glider Oil Company, we have on the same 18,000 gallons of low sulfur winterized diesel fuel is .07 markup. On the 5,000 gallons of number 2 fuel oil, it's a .08 markup. And on the 4,000 gallons of unleaded gasoline, it's a .07 markup.
Got all them zeros there. What's the difference here? Get my inspection.
Okay, is that it?
That's what I got.
Did you study those?
Yes, I did. I would make the recommendation that we go with the low bidders, which is diesel fuel, glider oil, unleaded gasoline, glider oil, and fuel oil would be Babcock oil. That's currently who we have for each of those products, and they're both giving us excellent service.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to that.
I'll second it then.
Any discussion?
Well, as long as he's happy with the service, fine.
Ruth, will you call the roll?
That was, Rick, you made the motion?
Yes.
Okay. Counselor Edwards?
Yes.
Counselor Greco?
Yes.
Supervisor Hawthorne?
Yes.
Counselor Haggerty?
Yes.
Counselor Abbott?
Yes.
Okay. we have some important resolutions tonight. These are not lame duck resolutions. These are finish your work type resolutions for the most part. We have two resolutions regarding the comprehensive plan, which will enable us to finish that project. One is a seeker. We met late October and did part 2 of the seeker review. And we have to do a resolution that says that as a result of that review, we have come up with a negative declaration. I don't know if you want me to read this whole thing.
You can read all those, why did you, can't just do it, or?
I will summarize.
I'll do that.
It just indicates that whereas we proposed adopting the comprehensive plan, we did the seeker, we did part 1, we did part 2. We were the lead agency, and we did the necessary legal steps to notify the various parties. And the actual negative declaration indicates it's a type 1, that there are no negative condition. Negative declaration is no. The reason supporting this determination: the project action will not result in a physical change to the project area. The project area will result in future protection of physical environment, including water bodies, surface and groundwater, air quality, agricultural land resources, aesthetic resources, open spaces, and recreational opportunities. The project action will not affect community resources of fuel or energy supply and will not cause objectionable odors, noise, or vibrations. The project action should result in improvement to public health and safety and the character of the existing community. That's the supporting reasons for the determination. So may I have a resolution to adopt this resolution?
Yes, I'll make that.
Adopt this
Speaker,
declaration?
yes, I'll make that resolution.
Okay. Ruth, call the roll.
Counselor Edwards?
Yes.
Counselor Greco?
Yes.
Supervisor Hawthorne?
Yes.
Counselor Haggerty?
Yes.
Counselor Abbott?
Yes.
Okay. Now, after all these years,
Well, 3.
we are ready to actually adopt a comprehensive plan. The planning board worked on it for a long, long time, and we worked on it for a long, long time, and it went back to the planning board and back to us, and I can't say that I'm 100% happy with it, but it's something that is a start and can be reviewed every few years and improved upon. The one thing that I must say, though, that we did not adopt a new proposed zoning plan. That can just as well be done as part of the revisions to the zoning law, and I would recommend that those revisions need to be done quite soon. The town board needs to look at the zoning plan, because the zoning plan has to be consistent with the comprehensive plan, and there are some guidelines in there that should help to ease the way along in terms of that. So I'm going to read this one. This is a shorter one.
Gotta read it, all this? Okay. Resolution to adopt a comprehensive plan. Whereas it has been proposed by the town of Granby hereafter, referred to as the town, adopt a new written comprehensive plan. And whereas a draft of the new comprehensive plan has been prepared. Whereas said draft has been reviewed by the town of Granby Planning Board and the Oswego County Planning Board and the town board of Granby. Whereas the public hearing concerning said draft has been held in due notice, and in which interest persons spoke in favor or against the draft of a comprehensive plan. Whereas during the process of such review and public hearing, the draft written comprehensive plan was revised at various respects. Whereas the board previously adopted a resolution establishing itself as a lead agency for the purpose of the State Environmental Quality Review, which is known as SEQR, reviewed determining that the project is a type 1 action under SEQA. Whereas the town board closely reviewed part 1 and 2 of the Foley Environmental Assessment Form, as a result, therefore, passed a resolution declaring the adoption of the final draft of the comprehensive plan will not have any significant adverse impact on the environmental issues, a negative declaration under SEQA. Now therefore be it resolved by the Town of Granby Town Board, the adoption of the final draft written comprehensive plan for the Town of Granby will be in the best long-term interest of the Town of Granby and its residents in the future, in the further. Resolved that the Town of Granby Board hereby adopt a final draft written comprehensive plan, be it further. Resolved, this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Thank you. Very well. The document itself, I didn't even bring one in. It's a very thick document. We do have some copies of the goals and objectives, and those are really the meat and potatoes of the document.
I don't know if it's a good time before we call the roll. The new town board coming on, this plan is, like, I think it's been going on for 3 years,
Longer.
over 3 years. And like the supervisor mentioned, you got to take the plan now and work some zoning changes. And I know Dave knows about some of them, and so don't Carol. Particularly, like, say, I'll give you an example. Somebody wanted to put in a duplex. It's not in our zoning. This is something, the comprehensive plan, it's just one simple thing, and other things of the same nature, which will take some work. Just don't happen that easy.
Okay. Ruth, will you call the roll?
Okay, now who made the second? I didn't hear. Oh, Rick. Okay. Counselor Edwards?
Yes.
Counselor Greco?
Yes.
Supervisor Hawthorne?
Yes.
Counselor Haggerty?
Yes.
Counselor Abbott?
Yes.
What's next?
Water District 4.
All right, another big issue. Last night, we had a public hearing on Water District, the proposed Water District number 4. This is the water district that would run up on Route 48 North in the Hickory Grove area. We didn't have a big turnout. The comments were, I guess, 100% positive. There were a lot of good questions asked, and so it was a very good meeting. And what we're going to do, based on that meeting, is go forward in the process, and and that means we will establish the district subject to mandatory referendum. Talk about long. This one's pretty long.
You could just use the highlights or not?
Well, let me just read through it kind of quickly. The town board has been asked to consider formation of water district in the town of Granby, known as Water District Number 4. And whereas at regular meeting, the board previously directed the Burley Gominiac Consulting Engineers supplement a map plan and report that had been prepared to consider all aspects of the proposed water district. Whereas map plan and report are supplemented and was duly filed with the town clerk, and whereas at a regular meeting the town board held on the 16th of November, the town board reviewed the map plan and report and directed the town clerk to publish an order and resolution notice of public hearing, scheduling a public hearing on the 13th of December at 7 p.m., published in the newspaper. Therefore, whereas the notice of public hearing was published in the official newspaper, the Valley News, and posted on the town bulletin board, and the public hearing having been held on December 13th, with all interested persons having been heard, and the town board at this duly noticed special meeting had a full discussion pertaining to the proposed Water District 4 and acknowledges it has heard the public comments and discussed the same with the consulting engineers, Burley Gominiac and Associates. Therefore, be it resolved that the notice of public hearing was published and posted as required by law and is otherwise sufficient, that all the property and property owners within the proposed district are benefited thereby, that all the property and property owners benefited are included within the limits of the proposed district, that if formation of the proposed district is in the public interest, that based on numbers 1 through 4 above, this board does hereby approve the formation and establishment of the water district to be known as Town of Granby Water District Number 4, pursuant to the terms and boundaries as found in the said revised map plan and report supplemented by Burley, Miniak and Associates and filed with the town clerk. And the town board further determines this resolution shall be subject to a mandatory referendum. Said referendum shall be held the 15th day of February 2006 at the Granby Town Hall from the hours of noon until 9 p.m. And all owners of real property located in the district are, as shown in the 2005 assessment rolls, will be eligible to vote. The voting rules here attached hereto are hereby adopted as the rules for voting for the referendum, and those are the same rules that we used at the last water district that we went through this process. Copy of the revised map plan and report is supplemented by the engineers, may be reviewed at the town clerk's office. It contains a map of the district showing the boundaries and the tax parcels therein, and the town clerk is directed to publish and post notice of the referendum as required by law. We sent letters to each and every person that is involved in the district prior to this public hearing, and we will send another letter telling them about the vote. So I would make this motion.
You make it? I'll second it.
Okay? Any further comment about this?
No, the only comment, the only reason we're doing it now is to sort of keep the process going, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
this is the next step in the process. And if the vote passes, then the district has been formed.
Yeah.
And we cannot go further in terms of securing the grant aid until the district is formed. Of course, you know, if you don't get the grant, then, you know, nobody's obligated to anything. But we have some indication that they're willing to give us the grant and the loan. Okay, Ruth, please call the roll.
Counselor Edwards?
Yes.
Counselor Greco?
Yes.
Supervisor Hawthorne?
Yes.
Counselor Haggerty?
Yes.
Counselor Abbott?
Okay, now I have a few words that I would like to say. I've written some things down on paper because I want to make sure I cover it all. Tonight it was our intent to pass a resolution that was entitled, "A Resolution Supporting and Concurring in the City of Fulton's Application for redesignation of certain areas within the town of Granby as an Empire Zone." 2 weeks ago tonight, Mr. Jeff Hodge, coordinator of the Empire Zone, came to the town board's work meeting to explain to our board what this resolution represented and the importance of passing it. He brought maps. Here's the map that he brought that showed what areas were to be added to the redesigned Empire Zone, along with a detailed legal description of the properties. I have that here somewhere also. And in Granby, they included State Route 3 from the city line out to the Hannibal Street intersection and along Hannibal Street east to the city line. 125 acres in all. Now, this was not news to me because 5 years ago he came to our meetings and asked for a similar resolution. And then there were some difficulties getting the state to approve that application, and since then the state has revised the entire program, so that was another setback. During these 5 years, I have been serving on the Empire Zone Administrative Board along with a representative from Volney, the mayor of Fulton, the county legislative chair, several appointed civic leaders, persons very knowledgeable about economic development issues. And in recent years, we worked hard to learn the new guidelines and set down by the state. Among them was a requirement for a zone development policy. And I've got that here somewhere. did develop a policy. And among the objectives clearly delineated in this policy was the intent to expand the Empire Zone as a tool for economic development along the Granby Commercial Corridor. Now, this policy was adopted, the date here is November 10th, 2004. And because of the new state requirements, a new map was also prepared, which delineated the boundaries. This map was reviewed and polished by the zone board at several meetings before being unanimously approved on October 26th of this year. Mayor Hayden was present for that vote and present for most, if not all, prior meetings. Our most recent meeting was November 29th, and that time we went over the legal steps that were needed before the application could be submitted to the state. Among them was our resolution that I referred to earlier, and also the passage of a local law by the City of Fulton, scheduled for December 6th. Now, in recent days, it has come to my attention that the law passed on that date was very different from what any of us expected. It appears on the day of the public hearing, the mayor and his colleagues conspired to drop Granby from the map and the local law. After all these years, we were left out in the cold, and no reason was given. In fact, I didn't hear about it until several days later. Now, Granby has passed many local laws in recent years. The procedure is clear. The proposed local law, in its final form, must be forwarded to the councilors 7 to 10 days prior to the public hearing. The hearing must be advertised at least 5 days in advance. And most significantly, if a substantial change to the law is desired, a new public hearing must be scheduled. Now, I was told this week that the omission of Granby's 125 acres was a minor change. I hardly think so. It represented 18% of the total new acreage planned for the zone. Additionally, it ignores the stated intentions of the adopted development plan and the hard work that went into it. This is kind of like making a zone change that isn't consistent with your comprehensive plan. Now, if Fulton had concerns, why weren't they raised many months ago? Most people I've talked to have been shocked and have used such adjectives as spiteful and mean-spirited. Personally, I am stunned, and I truly am full of anger. Mayor Hayden may not like me personally. I've not told him what he wants to hear. But public policy must be based on a visionary assessment of the facts, not emotion and not wild speculation. We certainly aren't going to give in to coercion if that's what this is. Perhaps they think that we're some kind of country bumpkins that won't even realize that we're being slapped around. And this is not the first time. Where do we go from here? I think we need to give it thoughtful consideration as the facts emerge, and we should wait until all the facts are in. But unfortunately, the damage is done and will remain in the memories of the people of Granby, and I think the people of Olney, and the people, all the people who hear about this for many years to come. And that's what I have to say at this point.
Can I ask a question on that, please? Can I ask a
I am-
question? Didn't we pass that we joined that Empire Zone about
It never was finalized.
Huh?
It was never finalized. I explained that.
They wouldn't accept that?
No, that wasn't it. It wasn't finalized. The state wouldn't accept it. And it had to go back and be redesigned. And then the state changed their laws.
All right, because I remember doing it.
Yeah, right. 5 years ago.
And they expanded it to include this 100 and some odd acres, and we thought it was gonna be a done deal by now.
Yeah.
Tonight, we were supposed to approve it. They dropped us right out of it.
It clearly looks like this is a a case of, they want to use this against us with Walmart. It looks like one of those pawns they want to take and use. Very upsetting, very upsetting. And, you know, we've met with the city of Fulton several times about Walmart coming in. Last week in the Valley News, there was an article in there that the mayor's tried to get a hold of us here at the town. He's tried to get a hold of Walmart. Every time we try to contact Walmart, Walmart calls us right back without a problem. And 598-6500 hasn't rung here at all from the mayor of the city of Fulton, although he said he sat up quite late trying to get a hold of us. But could be another reason we're not here that late. But it's very annoying to think that they're using this kind of stuff for political gains. This is, we're moving forward, with or without them. Walmart's going to come, and we're going to move on. And we've told them that, and that's, you know, this is, I feel bad for the city of Fulton that the leaders are acting this way. But we're going to move forward. Like I said, nobody's ever seen Route 31. 15 years ago, you wouldn't have ever believed Route 31 looked the way it does today. 15 years from now, you're not going to believe the way Route 3 is going to look going out towards Hannibal. And we're not going to sit back and wait. We got to move forward. We send too much business to Onondaga County and other places now, and we can't wait any longer. We've got to get moving. Our taxpayers deserve that. But,
I see no connection with Walmart. If they are drawing some connection, I don't know what it is, because Walmart never asked for economic zone. We never really discussed it. I don't think it's a big issue with them at all. So it's not going to keep them from coming if they have any notion that that's going to happen. But and that whole corridor, if Walmart, especially if Walmart comes, is going to develop even without the Empire Zone. So why are they doing it? I just cannot fathom the whole point. It's I've tried very, very hard to get along, and we have had many meetings. They have met with Walmart themselves on at least two occasions that I know of. One time privately and one time with a whole group of us. So they've had opportunities to negotiate. They've had opportunity. They've met with us. The most recent, the mayor did call here one day, and he wanted to meet with the town board, and I suggested, I'll tell you frankly, I said, if you meet with the whole town board, we have to advertise it, you'll have a TV camera in your face, and what kind of negotiating can you do in that kind of environment? It just doesn't work. So Dave Edwards and Vince Greco went down to his office and sat down and talked to him. You know, but I think he just didn't hear what he wanted to hear.
yeah. No, they believed apparently that we couldn't do it on our own. And
I don't know, but
I think
Walmart told them that they could do it without them.
that's correct.
I heard him tell them that.
Well, right there
Long
at the
time
meeting,
ago.
they made it very clear that they told them that we don't need city water and we don't need city sewer. We'd like to have it,
You were there at that
but
meeting.
we don't need it. And so we move forward, and now Granby is passed, so we've got water, our own water coming, and they're going to be self-sufficient with their own sewage treatment plant, and we're going to move on.
Anyone else got any comments or questions? I just wondered. Hate to make a big deal of that, but it is a big deal, I think. I'm
Yeah, it's
very,
not,
very upset. Very, very unhappy. And the way that it was done clearly is, you know what
Unprofessional.
these legal procedures have to be followed. You just don't do a last-minute switcheroo the day of the meeting. So I better not say anything more, I think.
There's no recourse for that
We
now.
are, well, there may be, certainly.
We are looking into it.
Okay, another small resolution I have is, oh yeah, there it is. This is something new. It's not really new. We've had a website for a couple of years now, And it was originally sponsored by Niagara Mohawk, who has since just, discontinued their sponsorship of it. We've continued to work as a group. It's a template kind of website, so we all use the same style with our own unique information. And if you go in, you could go into a great many towns. I think there's 50 or 60 towns that participate. But what they would like to do, I went to a meeting this summer, they would like to form a cooperative, and this was the recommendation of the representative from the Association of Towns. Because right now there is no structure. We all have it, we pay a company that maintains the website, but one thing we could do if we are cooperative is to apply for grants. And that's one thing they're working on right now is a grant, there's a grant program for governments that want to work together and use the internet as a tool. And even now we're using it. We send messages back and forth. And some town says, I'd like to know how much you pay your highway superintendent. And, then everybody responds. So it's a good communication tool. I do have a resolution they would like us to adopt. It just establishes membership in the Digital Towpath Cooperative. Whereas the town of Granby has established and maintained a municipal website using the Digital Towpath municipal website template. This just happens to be the name that they selected years ago. Whereas the town of Granby has realized an increase in service to the residents through the operation of our website, and whereas the continued operation and expansion of our website will continue to enhance our citizens' e-government interaction with our town, and whereas the municipalities of New York State using the Digital Towpath municipal website template are banding together to form the Digital Towpath Cooperative, and whereas the intermunicipal joint service agreement establishing this cooperative has been presented to and reviewed by this board, therefore we authorize the supervisors to sign the intermunicipal joint service agreement establishing the Digital Towpath Cooperative and hereby designate the town supervisor to represent our town in all proceedings of that body.
I'll make the motion on it.
Right.
Is that with the Association of Towns, right? Isn't that through them?
Not through them, but they were, Mr. Bowden was at the meeting, and he recommended that we do it this way, so that we have some structure that we could seek grants and so forth.
Well, if they get a bunch of towns, makes it cheaper.
So, now, you can get out of this. This isn't binding forever. I would make this motion a resolution.
I made it.
Oh, you did. I'm sorry.
I started to ask a question,
Okay.
though. Is it gonna-
Is there a second?
I second.
Okay.
Yeah, so you answered the question,
Wasn't
like,
paying attention.
you answered my question, you
Okay.
can get out of it.
Yes.
And it's not in with the association, but it's all those towns that are in the
Many,
association.
many towns in
Yeah.
central New York, and it keeps expanding, and more
Right.
towns want to join, and cities too. I think Fulton is in it, and, if you haven't been in our website lately, it is towngranby.org. I haven't had a whole lot of time to put into it, but it does have the basic information in there, and people have been using it to find out, when meetings are and so forth. Ruth, would you call the roll?
Counselor Edwards?
Yes.
Counselor Greco?
Yes.
Supervisor Hawthorne?
Yes.
Counselor Hagerty?
Yes.
Counselor Abbott?
Okay, we have a resolution about budget adjustments.
All right, that's 7,000?
That's for buildings count. That's because we use so much to do upfront the cost on the salt storage
Oh, okay, that's okay, yeah.
that we are running short on that one. So basically, these are just routine end-of-year, $7,000 from contingency to buildings, $600 from contingency to planning board personal services, $95 from machinery contractual to machinery safety, and $4.25 from sewer District
That's the one
1
we gotta worry
contractual.
about.
Yeah,
$4.25, right?
to serial bond interest.
I'll make that resolution.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You're not gonna pay this one.
County legislator.
Before I get started, I'd like to just add to about the issue with Fulton on the Empire Zone. I talked to the mayor today, I talked to the county attorney, and the administrator. I've been researching this quite a bit. The problem was, and I'm not trying to take sides, I'm just letting you know what I found out.
Fine.
This is the resolution that was given to us last week at our meeting, and we tabled it indefinitely because they took Granby out. We're not going to pass a resolution to support them. But in the resolution, I called the mayor to find out what his problem was. And it's got a page in here that says parcels around perimeter of New York State 3, town of Granby, adjusted to include Walmart, building, and parking lot. There's such public outcry and nervousness about the Walmart coming in and affecting their tax base that if they would have passed it with the Walmart, it looks like they're going to be supporting Walmart with this Empire Zone because it does state it in the page of the building and the parking lot of Walmart. I don't know if you've seen the
I
resolution.
have not seen that resolution.
Here's the page right here.
Yeah.
He made note to that, to me, this is specifically why they deleted it. They couldn't delete this page, they had to delete Granby, because you can't take a portion of it. It was the whole part, it was the clean way, so.
We did not ask that that be included.
I understand that, we didn't ask for it, but it's in there, okay? And they're not
However,
boycotting Granby, they're just not supporting Walmart. And with the Walmart in there, it's what he's saying. So he says, anybody that's already in the Empire Zone or being affected, well, their grandfather, any new businesses that are going to be affected, and it's only 1 year, they can amend the boundaries once a year. So in 2007,
It's not as easy as it sounds.
it's not as easy as it sounds to delete that one page. You have to delete the whole town, is what the county attorney told me.
You can't delete just the word Walmart, though.
No, you can't. It's much more complicated. But I'm not trying to stick up for the mayor. What I'm trying to say is that's the reasoning I was given. So I went to the county attorney to see if we could get our own. Well, Granby can't go petition for Empire Zone. I mean, it's Fulton and Oswego and the great in their areas that surround them.
You think it was put in there on purpose?
I don't know if it was or not. I don't know who wrote the final draft up for that resolution, but that's why they turned it down, according to the mayor and the people on the board, because it specifically says Walmart, parking lot, and building. If they said Granby, they were all for it. When it says Walmart, their constituents are so worried and nervous they could not pass it, and I understand that. I'm not support.
It's awful convenient, though, to have it put in there, isn't it?
Well, I don't know who wrote the resolution up to be sent to the state, but that is the resolution that goes to the state. That was the one
This
presented to us.
is the county's resolution. This isn't the, is
That's,
this,
that's a copy of what we were gonna send on to the state for the
Right.
Empire Zone,
Okay.
okay?
maybe,
But-
I expect it was put in there because they thought the county would be in favor of that.
You're right, that's what we were sending to the state for support. Fulton amended that to remove that Granby because of that page. that
They
says
don't
Walmart.
amend your.
No, they amended the Empire Zone, so we can't
I
vote
realize
on
that.
it.
I realize that. They didn't amend it correctly, though.
I'm not trying to say they did it right, I'm just saying what the reasoning was. I called them today, I talked to the lawyer, I talked to the administrator,
You know,
we're not sure if they done it right.
It's kind of knee-jerk reaction, is it not?
Well, they're definitely against Walmart. I mean, that's not a secret.
We know that.
Everybody knows.
You know.
Because it's in there, they're against that, us being in the zone. That's it. It's not because they're against Granby, and I don't,
Why does Walmart have to be in there? It's not
I don't know.
guaranteed.
I don't know who
It's
wrote
not
that
guaranteed
up.
100% just because it's,
I don't know who wrote that up for the Empire Zone, but it does show that particular parcel. Every parcel that's affected is entered in there. It shows Northern, it shows all the businesses that are going to be affected. So it shows Walmart. They will not pass it with Walmart having a benefit from their Empire Zone.
But
That's
they
what they're saying.
knew it was in there. It's been in there all along.
I'm not going to dispute, I'm just saying that's the reasoning I was given today. I went down and talked to him for a long time because I really did not.
It's an
It's
example
not a
of
good
that
thing.
kind of emotional,
Oh, I
reaction
I
that
agree.
isn't based on good, sound facts. So they've known what was in there for a long, long time.
It just seems really convenient that
I-
it's put in, then all of a sudden Granby's dropped out. It's
I
just,
understand your
Good
your
timing,
concern,
isn't it?
But I'm just showing you what was given
Yeah.
to us and what
Understand.
he's saying was the reason that they pulled it out. I don't know who put it in, I don't know how it was drafted, I didn't even think to check
But it
that.
doesn't, like I said, it's not going to matter to Walmart.
They're not even gonna be
I mean, I wish they had taken the Walmart section out of it, because maybe that would
We're probably not
have,
looking to give the biggest retailer in the United States any incentive to move anywhere. I mean, they can afford to go anywhere they want.
it's a moot point in terms of
Exactly,
them.
exactly.
So
But-
why are they worried about
But
it?
that piece of property was listed in the Empire Zone, and they will not pass it with Granby listing.
But it was,
And I'm not trying to stick up for them, I'm just showing you what their argument was. Okay, that's,
Okay, go ahead.
I do appreciate the fact that the county did not pass this
yes, we table it
resolution,
indefinitely.
because you should not support
We wouldn't.
something that, first of all, was done illegally,
And that was unanimous not
You
to
know,
support that. I mean, once you change, we're not
and,
looking
you
to
know,
cause
it's
harm
a
to
slippery
any.
slope when you
Yes.
start catering to these people that just don't like the sound of
And
one
actually,
word.
we tabled it indefinitely. It wasn't
Wow.
shot down, but it was tabled. Okay. Tomorrow's our meeting. This is the tentative budget, if anybody wants to look at it. Right now, adds up, until we start the meeting tomorrow, it went from 920,000 for your assessed taxes rate and to 908. And I anticipate it may even go a little bit lower tomorrow. There was an audit done in the spring on the automobiles bought and where the sales tax revenues actually went, and it was found, the audit come in with, I think, somewhere $280,000 worth of sales tax was misappropriated. It went to the city of Fulton and the city of Oswego. It should have come to the county. So that's going to be put in. I think it's going to go right towards our tax levy. We are talking about, there's a possibility that we may give some money back to the libraries and to OI, Oswego Industries. They put in a pretty convincing case that they're in need, and they're good. It's money well spent.
May I ask, you said an audit, was this an audit of like businesses and where they were crediting the sales tax?
The administrator called down and asked the state to do a sales tax audit, from what I understood, from what Steve told me.
I had called them at the state at one point also, and asked them, I said, why can't you, even spot audits here and then would make people aware of this problem, because this has been a big problem. The only thing they did for me is they did change the map description. I mean, they had places listed as City of Fulton that are in the town of Granby.
But the real problem is your vendors look at your
Zip code.
zip code, and
That's
then
all.
it's automatically associated, 13069.
Of course, now we buy a lot of things online, and that's even worse, because you have no idea whether they're doing it properly.
Well, they are trying, though, and they've
Well, I'm glad
recovered-
there's some progress
and
here.
there is, they did recover a substantial amount of money, and luckily, the biggest share is going to be Oswego. It's not going to be Fulton. Let's see what else I got. Like I said, the budget's a good budget, I think. A budget is so complicated and complex that people underestimate the amount of work and time and effort that goes into this budget. It's $153 million, and there's so many. You got estimated revenues, you got estimated expenditures. It's based on $22 million worth of sales tax revenue. That's a projection. We can't project what the sales tax, we hope we can, but it's so you have to err on the conservative side and make sure you project a budget it's not just good for this year, but it's good for future years. I've heard people say we should have double-digit tax reductions. Well, we should learn from the mistakes made in the past, too. If you start spending down that unappropriated fund balance too fast,
Absolutely.
then you're on a roller coaster, and you're going to be lower in one year and raising the next. We need to stabilize, and we are. We've made a 180-degree turn from 2 years ago, from where we were to where we are now. But we're not done. Work's not over. We're still mending. But it's going good. It's going real good. Very optimistic. Let me see, the Empire of Zones. Actually, what I wanted to say next was, I think we ought to thank Nancy and Vince and Rick for their dedication to the town of Granby. I would like to do a little different than one of the other speakers and talk about your accomplishments in the last 2 years alone. In the last 2 years, you've got 2 water districts started, you got a sewer district, a salt storage facility completed, and our equalization rate's 100%. That's pretty impressive. And I thank all of you. You did a great job. And then you kept our taxes stable besides. I mean, it's just phenomenal. You've done a great job. So, I'd like to thank all of you. And this is sponsored by the Republican Committee and on behalf of the
Oh my
people of Granby.
gosh.
Got your little plaque there.
Thank you.
And they also bought some cake and refreshments for afterwards.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
And thank you, everybody,
nice
for a job well
surprise.
done. I've got a lot of confidence in the next people coming in. I know that they're going to do a great job, and you'll be there to help too, I'm sure.
I thank you also for your county proclamation that was
Well,
presented to me.
I apologize for not being able to make it that
It's all
evening,
right.
but it was,
It was very, very nicely worded.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I have a couple of reports. Dog control, number of complaints 21, dogs picked up 3, dogs released 1, dogs on hand 3, $149 in supplies, $59 for vet, $187 in monthly mileage, $10 in impoundment fees collected. That's Gail Kalen. And you got the building permit, or building
Yes.
codes?
Building permits issued, 24. Fees collected, $1,836.40. Construction value, $193,548. Inspections, 37. Court cases, 5. Court cases closed, 1. Junk vehicles removed, 11.
Okay, thank you. The assessors are taking a lot of star applications these days and other work. Planning board, I don't think there's anyone here. ZBA. Youth director, they've had activities right up through the last, I think it was last weekend, or weekend before maybe. Highway superintendent.
I'm Lynn Moyer, by the way, in case you didn't recognize me with this beard. Somebody said I had to hide, but really don't have much of a report. Winter's here, and that's what we've been doing, chasing around, trying to keep the roads clear as best we can. Other than that, I did the state mileage report, which sets the amount of money we get from the state government under our capital highway improvement program. Last couple of years, we've gotten a slight increase in that. Our state association ended up hiring a lobbyist, I think 2 years ago, to go to Albany. And besides that, we've been going as a group, the superintendents around the state, in March on Advocacy Day. And there's usually, I think, 200, 250 of us or so that'll go down there. And probably the lobbyists did the most of it, but we did get a slight increase in the last couple of years and preserved the program so far. So it means a lot for us to use the money to maintain our roads with. Other than that, unless you have any questions.
How's the salt dome going?
Beautiful. It's working out really great. Yeah. I haven't found any drawbacks with it yet or anything I'd want to change with it. So
Good, excellent.
We've had an unusual November, December for winter. Everything's holding up good?
yes.
A lot of the equipment?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so far. I don't want to jinx anything. But
I understand.
Ruth?
Well, things have quieted down a lot, and we're just anticipating getting the taxes probably next week or just before Christmas to prepare to send out.
Nice Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Good thing you got a month to pay for it. I got a month.
Well, some of my time in the last month I've been working with our incoming supervisor, and I think that's very, very important that we have a good, smooth transition and our new council people. And just trying to foresee what are they going to need to know and what kind of materials do I, trying to get things in order. I want to leave here, I'm determined to leave here with everything in very good shape. I thought about making some kind of speech tonight, but I already made my speech. I am very pleased at some of the things we've done, and Mike mentioned the things that finally started to come together, I think, especially in the last couple of years, and we're very, very pleased about that. We're pleased about having a sole assessor. I think that was a good step in the right direction. In the reval, it was a painful decision for the board to make because, you know, it doesn't make people happy sometimes, but you had the courage to do it. And therefore, I think, I'm not quite sure what this $9, whether that will actually be our rate, but our rate certainly will be a whole lot less, probably about $3 less than it was per thousand than it was last year. That's just the county rate. And the school tax rates have gone down. Fulton was about $3. Skrupel, I think, was about $7 per thousand. Very, very good, you know, results. And even Hannibal, which so many people, their rates, you know, went up, what, 30-some%. I think in Granby, they only went up 11%. So I guess that's a positive. All because of the reval. And so I'm very happy that we were able to accomplish that. And I want to say thank you to each and every one of these board members and the people that have served before, and to each and every person who has worked on this team, and I do think of it as a team. There are a lot of good people that contribute to these efforts. It doesn't happen with just me, or it doesn't happen with just the town board. It's a lot of people working together to make the good things happen. Just as an example, I go to when I go to meetings, it seems like the one thing I hear very, very often is how the town supervisors don't like their highway superintendents. They don't get along at all.
I hear the other side of it.
And I think, yeah, I think how fortunate we are to have such an excellent highway superintendent who is so easy to get along with and, you know, cooperative and shares information. And it's amazing the horror stories you hear. But, and that's just one example. I mean, Ruth is, of course, a delight to work with, and Carolyn has been, you know, so sweet and very helpful. And I hate to start naming names because I'm going to leave someone out, but everyone has been very, very good. And I especially, of course, want to say thank you to my bookends here for their effort. I know it's been 8 years for you, and how many for you?
A long time. I think it's about close to 15. I think I came in. When did Jim Best come in? When was the first year he came in? Do you know?
He was here for 8
90
years,
and
so,
91.
yeah, he was here 8, and I've been here 8, so
'Cause you were-
16, I would say.
Yeah.
That's great.
You had hair when you started, right?
Yeah, almost, I think, I had a little more maybe.
I know you've been very helpful in many respects, and I just can't thank you enough, and I wish you very well, and I'm going to miss you all, and I'm going to miss you, Carol, and I thank you. I've enjoyed working with you in the last couple of years. It's been short but sweet.
sorry, she's on.
Yeah. And David, you'll be carrying on very well, I'm sure, and
Carry that.
and I know that the new town board will do a real fine job, so, I'm going to stay right out of the way. You won't see me here, and you won't be hearing from me unless
I know,
you,
it's gonna be tough.
I think everyone should be
Yeah,
very
something.
sympathetic with Dave from now on, because if you've noticed, he's going to be the only man on a board of a bunch of women.
It's not gonna be,
That's
at least
historic.
it's a split for now. A little bit. I was just gonna comment, if it's okay. One thing I wanna say, I don't know why I want to, I've done a lot of things over the years. You know, we've got this energy crisis that's been going on, way back, 5-6 years ago. We spent a lot of money. The community center was not insulated, and the ceiling, I mean, that was done. The highway garage was not done properly. We put in fans. All this stuff didn't happen. I mean, Lynn knows and Nancy knows that I spent a lot of hours. I was really gung-ho for a lot of years. I'll admit, maybe I slacked off the last year or so here because of different things, but still did my job to the best of my ability. The lady that made the statement about the land, that was researched by the planning board, and they come up with a recommendation.